Okay, so one appropriate exercise for elementary schoolers to exercise their trapezius muscle. Their trapezius muscle is located right here and on your back. The exercise that we're going to do today is called band face pulls. And when you're doing your band face pulls, you need to have your arms straight out and then pull in, keeping your elbows high and not letting them droop down. You need to have bent knees, but not too bent where you're like this, just a little bend in your knee. And then pull back like you're pulling a slingshot. So straight into that. You stand away, bent knees, elbows high, and then you pull back like you're pulling a slingshot. For muscular endurance, you would do 3 sets of 10 with 1 minute rest. And then for muscular strength, you would do 4 sets of 5, and then you'd get a 2-minute break. And if you want a more challenging exercise, you can use a thicker band, which will help it be more resistance. Okay, so one easier modification would be to not use a band at all. So you just keep your hands out straight and act like you have a band and pull it back. Make sure you're engaging your back trapezius muscle as you're going. And then if you need, we're gonna use a spotter today. So if you have a partner, your partner's gonna come in and you're gonna grab the band, or if you don't have a band, you're gonna hold your hands out and your partner's gonna grab your elbows, making sure that your elbows are up high. In order to be safe during this exercise, we need to make sure that our bands are new and they're not looking like they're ready to snap. And we need to make sure that we're aware of our surroundings and we're in our own safe space to make sure our friends aren't running around near us so we don't hit them or snap them with the bands.
So one appropriate activity to work your trapezius muscles as middle schoolers would be a farmer's carry. Notice how I'm walking slow and controlled out, have a strong grip, my shoulders are back, and the dumbbells are off my legs. So one thing to be aware of when doing this activity is to make sure we don't drop the dumbbells. If you feel them starting to slip, just gently set them on the ground and step back. Also, it is unsafe to have a spotter in this situation because it would potentially cause harm to them. An example of bad form would be having a rounded back, so walking like this or walking really, really fast. And then to work muscular strength, we could do higher weight for a shorter distance, such as 10 yards. And if we're working muscular endurance, we could do a lower weight for a distance of 10 yards out and then 10 yards back to where we just started. Go. When we are in muscular endurance, we want to rest for a shorter period of time, such as a minute. When we are in muscular strength, we want to rest for a longer period of time for 2 minutes. So one way to make this exercise a little bit easier would be to lower the weight in your hands and or walk a shorter distance.
One developmentally appropriate exercise for you high schoolers to complete in order to increase muscular strength or endurance in your trapezius muscles, which are at the top of your shoulders and then at the top of your back as well, is called a dumbbell shrug. A dumbbell shrug looks like this: up and down. When doing shrugs, it's important to keep your posture up, so your back straight, lift the weight slowly and in control, and then to keep your feet shoulder width apart and have a bit of a bend in your knees. We never want to lock our knees. That would be very unsafe and could end up injuring our knees. If we want to increase our muscular strength for dumbbell shrugs, we could increase the weight that's in our hands and then do fewer amount of reps. So for example, we could do heavier weight for 4 sets of 6, up and down, slow and controlled. If we want to increase our muscular endurance for our trapezius muscles using dumbbell shrugs, we could increase the sets and the reps. So we could do something like 3 sets of 10, up and down. One way to make this exercise easier would be to set your weights down and then use something like this stick in order to get your form right. Go slowly up and down with your feet shoulder width apart and your legs bent, but this way we don't have any weight. If we are trying to be spotted for this exercise, we would have our spotter come behind us while we hold our weights like this, we would shrug up and down, and the spotter's job would be to make sure that you're going slowly and in control, and that your elbows are staying in and close to you. When we're working on our muscular endurance, we want to rest in between sets for a shorter amount of time. So maybe rest for 1 minute in between each set. When we're working on our muscular strength, we want to rest for a little bit longer between each set. So we could do something like 2 minutes between each set.